So these are my lemon knots, and this recipe came from my grandmother, Mary Papaleo, and she died before I was born, so I have a real special connection to this recipe. So much so that I featured it in my cookie cookbook called The Gift of Cookies, Recipes to Share with Family and Friends. So you can imagine how excited I was when my Aunt Millie came over to my house and handed me the recipe on this tiny little index cards with splotches of melted butter all over it. And in reading the ingredients list, I really had a good laugh because the amounts of ingredients, or I should say the volume, was huge. 5 pounds of flour, 14 eggs, etc., etc. Throw it all in a bowl, mix it up, let the dough rest for 30 minutes, bake at 350 degrees for about 12 to 15 minutes, and then she put "good luck!" exclamation point, Aunt Millie. So this is a super treasured recipe, and these cookies are amazing. They're moist, they have a cake-like texture, and it's really one of our family favorites. Well, you cannot have lemon knots without zesting a lemon, so let's start zesting. So we need 2 lemons zested, and the key to zesting is you want to make sure to not get the white pith mixed in with your zest because it can be a bit bitter. Okay, let's zest our orange. It's funny, even with the orange zest in this recipe, it still really screams lemon in the cookie, but somehow mixing the orange and the lemon zest really works. Okay, there we go. Now let's juice our citrus, and we're going to make sure that we get a yield of 1/4 cup of lemon and 1/4 cup of orange juice. Now for the lemons. Okay, now let's crack our eggs. There we go, 5 eggs. Okay, so now we're gonna combine our dry ingredients. So I've already measured out 4 cups of flour, 2 more cups to go. That's cup number 6. Okay, so then I've got some baking powder. Let's add a little bit of salt. I remember when I first started baking, I used to think, why salt in a sweet cookie? But it's actually very important to add your salt. So there you go, let's give it a whisk. Perfect. Let's mix our dough. We'll start with the butter. I like to cube the butter. That makes it easier to incorporate, and a cup of sugar. And we're gonna let this beat and cream for 2 minutes. So to get a little bit more air into the sugar butter mixture, I like to take my rubber scraper and just push the mixture right into the middle of the bowl. So we wanna whip this sugar and butter up until it's a pale yellow color, and you want it to increase in volume and be really light and fluffy. Let's beat it some more. Okay, now we're gonna add our eggs one at a time, and I just put my mixer on medium-low. Okay, so let's add our zest and our juices. Okay, and don't forget your vanilla, about 2 teaspoons. I'm a little heavy-handed with my vanilla, but definitely at least 2 teaspoons. Mix that in. Okay, let's start adding our dry ingredients, the flour, the salt, and the baking powder. I put the mixer on low, and I'm going to gradually add the flour a spoonful at a time. Perfect. So the dough is all put together. Now I'm just going to place a piece of plastic wrap over the top of the bowl and just let it sit for 30 minutes. Why do we do that? Well, we definitely want the gluten to have a chance to relax. Okay, so this is the fun part. So grab a friend. I grabbed my girlfriend, Rachel. She's such a treasure and so much fun. Are we ready to roll?
I'm ready.
All right. So we want to take about a golf ball size piece of dough.
Okay.
Roll it in your hands. This dough is not sticky, but I always like to have a little bit of flour, and definitely good idea. Flour your fingers so the dough doesn't stick. And then we just want to roll this into a rope shape about 4 inches long. Okay, so here's our rope. It's about 4 inches long, and you just want to make a little circle like that. You can tuck the edges back. My Aunt Millie just made them like that, just did sort of a loop and a crossover. You ready?
I'm ready.
Get some dough.
Okay. Like that size?
Perfect.
Okay.
Roll between the palms. Get a nice even rope. Oh, you're good at this. You've done this before.
Mine's little.
See, and when you let the dough rest, what's great about that is your dough will keep its shape when you roll it into the log shape, and you'll get a more uniform result with your cookies, which is always pretty on the tray, right?
Oh, that looks amazing.
Oh, I think yours are prettier than mine,
No.
Rachel. Come on now.
Can't be.
This dough is so easy to work with, right?
So easy.
And if your dough is sticky, you could just add a little bit more flour.
Okay. How about the sizing of these guys?
Oh, you know what? They grow a little bit in the
Okay.
oven, but not too much.
Okay.
But my grandma always made her cookies big because she said this way you only have to eat one cookie, not two. I loved her attitude.
I'll probably have 2.
Me too. Yeah, so these will go in the oven at 350 degrees, and you want to bake them for about 12 to 15 minutes. And the funny thing with this dough is the cookie really doesn't change its color on the top. You want to check the bottoms.
Okay.
You want them to be golden brown.
Ooh, Mary, I got some flour on the
Oh, no, it's
parchment
okay.
paper.
We got to have
Anything
fun
goes.
doing this.
Anything
Yeah.
goes. Okay.
It's all about having fun.
You're right.
All right, we could put this tray in the oven. What do you think?
Okay, where should I sneak this guy?
Oh, yeah, we can put them right
Put
there.
him right there. Okay.
Here, I'll make another one.
Okay.
We can't let that one. No,
Can't
no,
be
no.
alone. Like, there we go.
Let's get them in the
Beautiful.
oven. High five.
Okay, we did it.
So now it's time to make our glaze, and it's so easy to do, but there are a few tricks. So I definitely sifted this. This gets all the clumps out. Nothing's worse than, mixing your glaze and you've got to fight all the little sugar clumps, so we won't have that problem. Okay, so let's add our liquid. I'm adding water. We want to start out less is more because, if you add too much water and it's too liquidy, then we just, have to add more confection or sugar, but it's just easier to go slow with this. So I'm going to put some water in here. And what's interesting about making a glaze is you can actually change the flavor profile of it. You can add coffee. You can add some flavoring extracts. Sometimes I actually just juice my lemons and use just the lemon juice as the glaze in place of the water. You can add liqueur, which is fun, and spices. So, you know what? I think we should make this glaze a little bit more lemony. What do you think?
I love that.
Yeah,
Love
let's
lemon.
get those cookies all puckered up.
How
Okay.
can I help?
All right, so you're going to be my whisker.
Okay.
And I'm going to juice some lemon. I think we're making my Aunt Millie proud right now.
Yes, she's smiling down.
She is. She was small but mighty, Aunt Millie, and can make a mean eggplant parmesan.
Ooh.
All right.
Go good with these cookies.
Totally.
What do you think, Mary?
All right, let me see. It's still a little bit thick. The key is you want the consistency to be where the glaze holds its shape, but is still spreadable. Let's see what we got now.
And get rid of these lumps.
Yeah. Just need a little bit of elbow grease. Come on, girl.
Ooh, am I getting my cardio in?
You are. Let's see. Perfect.
Okay.
Great job.
Thank you. Fun.
Okay, we're going to glaze our cookies, and this requires teamwork.
Got it.
Okay, so we've got some lemon zest here. Can you do the honors with the
I would
lemon
love
zest?
to.
They make the cookies look so pretty.
That's
Okay.
my favorite.
So I like to dunk my cookies. This is the quickest way. It's not the neatest way. It'll be a little bit messy, but you get a nice even coating of the glaze on the cookie.
Go right
And
in?
Go right in.
Okay. Why do you need to go right in?
Well, because the glaze does, set pretty quickly.
Okay.
And if you wait too long, then the zest won't stick to the cookie. So we don't want that to happen.
Makes sense.
So you want to try one?
Sure. So you dunk.
Mm-hmm. Just let the excess drip off.
I like
Flip
messy.
it over. Me
There we
too.
go. Like that?
Yep. I don't want to be negligent on my zest duties. Oh, pretty.
Perfect time.
So there's other ways that you can glaze a cookie too. You can use the fork method. And this one is if you really want to have some pretty, elegant, fine lines like that. So you really get a bit more precision with the fork, but it does take a little bit more time.
So artistic, Mary.
Well, I try. There we go. And the other method is you can use a spoon. This gives you a bit more of a rustic look, and it's a little bit quicker. This is when you just want to have fun.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, right? Well, let's
More
keep it
zest?
going. Yeah,
Okay.
put some zest on there.
This is nice for people when they don't want as much icing.
Yeah, but you know me.
I love icing.
The more icing, the better. Yeah.
Same.
I like to let these dry overnight,
Okay.
just because there's a lot of moisture in the dough. And then it's just nicer too when you want to store them. You always want to put them in a nice airtight container and put parchment right in between the layers.
Okay.
If I'm going to freeze these cookies, sometimes I freeze them unglazed and then just glaze them the night before. I'm going to serve them. If I'm really in a pinch and I have to glaze them and freeze them then and there, you want to make sure to put your cookies single layer on a cookie sheet, and once they're completely dry, put them in the freezer, and then once they're frozen, then you can go ahead and layer them in an airtight container with layers of parchment. Yeah. If you freeze them and the glaze isn't fully dried, what I found that when you defrost them, the glaze is bumpy and sometimes it'll crack and the cookies aren't as pretty.
These look beautiful.
Yeah. These came out great.
Beautiful.
So I made you some coffee.
Oh, my favorite.
Make it just the way you like it. And what makes it better? Should we dig in?
A lemon cookie.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I think my grandma Mary will be proud. You know, I'm named after her. Isn't that sweet?
Delicious.
Yeah, these are really very cakey, right? Moist,
Chewy.
chewy. Enough lemon kick in there.
Perfect.
It was the
Zest.
move with the zest
The
and
zest.
adding the lemon juice in the glaze.
Absolutely.
Delicious.
So delicious.
Make these at home. You're going to love them.
They're so good.